8 degrees.
Next on AM 1480 WLEA, the Newsmaker Show. Here's Brian O'Neill.
Always good to have back with us Hornell Police Chief Ted Murray. Chief, thank you so much for letting us phone you in down at the Hornell Police Station today.
Okay, thank you, Brian. It's nice to be on your show again.
Well, Chief, a few things to talk about today. Actually, we could go probably longer than the usual 25 minutes or so. Summer activities in Hornell. What's going on with summer activities in the Hornell Police Department?
Well, we have a host of activities that we'll probably be doing over the summer. One of the things that we're going to be doing is a CRACE training course for all of Alstom, which it's a civilian response to an active shooter, and it's put on by Captain Sexsmith, Sergeant Harrison, and Sergeant McHenry. And it's basically they go to the sites of any we will do it for any business that we have, but they do have it scheduled for all of Austin to, and basically they go to the sites, take a look at it, and say, hey, if the worst scenario happens, you had an active shooter, what's the best course of action for you to take? Looking at the layout of the facility. The people there, what they could do, and it's a course. It's about an hour-long course that we put on for all of them. But we'll be doing that throughout the summer.
Now you're getting e-bikes for the Hornell Police Department. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, Mayor Buckley has been generous enough to I've been talking to him about it for a while, but he's been generous enough to extend it out to us. We've had bicycles for quite a while in the Hornell Police Department. We probably had them for 10 years or so. But the bikes that we have gotten older, and we were looking to get new bikes. But we decided with getting the new bikes, we would get these Recon electric assist bikes, and I'm really excited about them. I think they'll advance our abilities to do a whole lot more. It'll give the officers. I like the bikes because of the personal interaction that the officers can have with the community. But with having the pedal assist, we will be able to go in so many more directions as far as the officers being at James Street Park or Shawmut Park or the Shawmut Trail. We're going to be doing that. But if indeed something comes up where an officer is needed, their ability to respond will certainly hasten that. So I'm excited about those. I think they'll be a really good addition to the city of Hornell.
Talking to Hornell Police Chief Ted Murray. Well, Chief, on the topic of speeding, is that something that happens more in the summer months or the most in the summer months?
Well, I think that we have more kids on the streets and stuff in the summer months, Brian, and that's really concerning. I think that people have to realize that there's so many kids out there and they can jump between cars. I always did a thing years ago, and I'm going to put it back on the Facebook page when I get a chance. But it's just the definition of speeding in the city of Hornell. When I ask people what speeding is, some people will say, well, speeding is going in excess of 30 miles an hour. And, of course, that's not a correct answer, Speeding is, you should never go at a speed that's greater than is reasonable and prudent under the circumstances and having regard to the actual and potential hazards that exist. So, in other words, when traveling in an area where children are playing and visibility may be limited, parked cars, etc., you should drive only at a speed which is slow enough that you can react and stop quickly. And particularly for young drivers, just because it's a 30-mile-an-hour zone doesn't mean, hey, I can drive 30 miles an hour. You have to take into consideration the street sizes. We have everybody has 2 or 3 cars now, so there's so many more cars parked on our streets now, which narrows them down. So whenever you're turning onto any street, before you accelerate, take a look at your surroundings. Then drive only the speed that you can prevent a tragedy should a child unsuspectingly dart into the roadway. If you or your son or daughter lack the maturity, fortitude, or ability to do so, then you shouldn't be driving. Make the summer months enjoyable for everyone by driving in a safe and responsible manner.
Yeah, you got that right, Chief. It seems like, a lot of people want to, it seems like everybody has to watch out for the children. I know the other day I think I was going 1 mile an hour down one street over in Hornell. I was like, oh gosh, I hope this kid doesn't run out. Chief, looking through your Facebook page, I see that there's a trombone. What did it fall out of a vehicle? There's a picture of a trombone on your Facebook page.
Yeah, we ended up getting a call that it was down in the downtown area. And it had been left there. And I'm not sure if they picked it up. I know the officers were going to call the school yesterday. I suspect probably a youth getting out of school, probably one of the last days of school, they probably were bringing their trombone home and perhaps got distracted and left it on the street. I suspect that's probably what happened. I know that because that happened to one of my children. When they were younger, they actually left their it wasn't a trombone, but it was some other instrument, but they left it uptown. And it was a couple days, someone brought it in, and I was like, what did you do? And my son just says, hey, I got busy, and I left it there. So
That's funny. Chief, on the topic, a couple of minutes ago we were talking about, how you have to drive slowly when you're driving by and there's a family with children and there's a young child there and you're afraid the child's going to dart out in front of the car. And I talking about, going 1 mile an hour or something like that. Question. Everybody wants to help out in a situation like that. And you think, when you see those situations, gosh, at least it occurs to me, should I call the cops, when I see this kid running around on the street? And then I think, I don't want to, be a snitch and be, a crummy area resident. But, gosh, I mean, what do you guys want? How often or in what circumstances should people call the police in a situation like that, Chief?
Right. Brian, I would encourage people to call us for any type of situation. And particularly even something like that. I mean, it's not that we have to always take drastic police measures, but sometimes we can educate people under those circumstances. So I encourage people to call us. That's what we're here for. We're here to respond to any citizens' issues and complaints, and if indeed we can educate people. And talk to them to prevent something tragic from happening. We want to do that rather than responding after something happens.
All right, that's a good answer, Chief. Talking to Hornell Police Chief Ted Murray, because you guys are not the same as social services, so it's not like if you go over one time to tell somebody something, the people are going to lose their kids, right?
Oh no, absolutely not. I mean, we're here to serve the community and to educate where we can. So that's
Chief Hornell Police Chief Ted Murray is with us. Looking through the Hornell Police Department media log, this is a great thing. They started doing this recently in Bath for the Bath Police Department as well. And before I get going with questions about the Police Department media log, Chief Murray, is this something that the governor ordered or something that came down from the county or the federal officials? Why are police departments doing this these days?
Well, when they came out with the new standards of police a couple of years ago, when we actually did that, one of them in there was to be as transparent as you can in regards to your activities. We've always kept our police log available to people to come in and see it, and we used to have different media come in and go through our logs and take a look at them, which we're always open to people. But the way things are today, we don't have people actually coming in and taking a look at our logs. So we decided to put some of our activities on Facebook, just to show the public what we're doing.
And Chief, I have to say, this is better than the blotters that reporters go in and get the names, because this is actually better because there's more. This looks like it's more than just the arrests or the tickets that you pass out. This is great, Chief.
Oh, yeah. I hope people in the community, support it, and we'll continue to put it up on Facebook as long as it's supported. Again, it's an effort that Captain Sexsmith from our police department actually is doing on a daily basis.
Oh, it's amazing. Looking through some of these now, Chief Murray, I see here on June the 16th that it starts out in the midnight hour with several property check. Let's see, 12:58, and then 3:02 a.m. a property check. Now, is a property check the same as a welfare check?
No, generally when we're talking about a property check, we're talking about looking at the outside of a building, like a particular business, and we would be looking around, making sure that all the doors are secure and that it wasn't broken into, and then that's pretty much what a property check is. When we're looking at individuals. To make sure that they're all right, that's different. We're actually looking at the physical well-being of someone.
Okay, let's see. Going through. Then there's some check of welfare. Let's see. Parking permits issued. School detail. Here's one. 10:56 a.m. Stove fire put out prior to officers' arrival, and welfare check. A person turned out fine. Hornell Police HQ dismiss UTT. Tell us, what does that mean, Chief?
That's basically when someone comes in and there's certain tickets that you get. That can be dismissed if indeed you take care of them. One for instance, is like a muffler. If you get a muffler ticket and then you get it fixed prior to the court date, you can come in and the officer will check it, and he'll do a form up, which will go over to court to get the case dismissed.
Okay. And then it mentions juvenile investigation, noise complaints, things like that, family court matters, parties advised of family court issues. What kind of things end up in a family court these days, Chief?
Well, so many things. I mean, we're constantly involved with family court situations. So many. I guess I could. It's so broad,
right.
Brian. It's hard for me to really define it into just a couple of categories. We're constantly dealing with family court situations. A lot of the criminal stuff will end up over in family court, and there'll be orders of protections and such that we'll have to work with through them.
I like the way Captain Mike Sexsmith writes these media logs, Chief Murray. I think one thing that shows how ethical that Captain Sexsmith is that, when it comes to just about everything, whether it's a missing person case in the middle of the night or a psychiatric call, they leave the names out. And I think that says a lot about Sexsmith.
Yes, and we try to do that as a department, and Captain Sexsmith he's a great leader of our department. He really is, and indeed he does make a point to not to put people's names in and not to embarrass people, and that's not what we're here for. We're not here to embarrass people. We're here to assist people and to assist the community. So
yeah, you're out to get the bad guys and get them off the streets, not to embarrass the general public and people that have problematic situations. I think that says a lot about your department. Noise complaints, you get a lot of those all throughout city streets. Are noise complaints, Chief Murray, are they basically repeat offenders, or how does that work?
A lot of times they are. I mean, there's a couple of ways to deal with noise complaints. The majority of them, I mean, somebody will call on somebody that there's a noise that's bothering them, and we'll try to mediate it and try to make sure that the noise is turned down, and so that people can go about their business and such. There are certain laws, though, that people can effectively sign an information and send it over to court to have somebody arrested under a noise complaint, and sometimes we'll go in that direction. We try, first of all, to try to avoid that and try to mediate the situation when we can before it goes over to court.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to keep going through these Hornell Police Department media logs, something that the Hornell Police Department is putting out now. I think it's the best thing. It really shows just how nice of a department they have in Hornell. Stay with us.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection that fits your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping to personalize protection to meet them. From bundling your auto and home insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage based on your protection needs, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. Are you in good hands? Contact the Hornell Allstate Agency of Michelle Cornell Herbert at 607-324-5611 today for a free quote. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Show also brought to you by Classy Cafe, Main Street, Hornell. Today's specials at the Classy Cafe: apple walnut specialty tossed salad, turkey paninis, soup of the day, hamburger veggie soup with pasta. Classy Cafe, Main Street, Hornell, 607-661-4854. Breakfast Monday to Friday from the moment they open, 6 a.m. till 11 a.m., and they have delicious breakfast at the Classy Cafe. We're back with Hornell Police Chief Ted Murray. We're looking at this one. Let's see. Alarm, burglar, officers responded, building secured. Break that down for us, Chief. When you say alarm, commercial burglar, does that mean it's a commercial burglar alarm and it just went off and everything's fine? Tell us about that.
That's generally what it is. I mean, there's alarms that there's private alarms that people have that will ring into the police department. There's audio alarms sometimes that we'll have on buildings or locations, and we respond to all of them, and we'll try to make a determination as to whether or not there was a breach to the property and some law enforcement investigation is needed, or whether or not the alarm was just activated by a mistake. The report will obviously dictate that.
Sure thing. Let's see. This one's self-explanatory. Lowe's parking lot, vehicle locked out. Officer gained access for owner. Even I can figure that one out, Chief Murray. Let's see. Here's another one. Field interview report. Tell us about a field interview report, Chief.
Okay, well, we have, 24-hour patrol, and we have officers out there all the time. So when we see someone out in the street, particularly like young people in the middle of the night, we will interview them and say, hey, what's going on? Where are you going? Is there a concern? Is there an issue? Do you need any help? And that's basically what we do when we do come across someone. Or if it's a young person that's perhaps shouldn't be out, we'll contact the parents and make sure that they're picked up or brought home, so that they're not out on the streets in late hours of the night.
Sure thing. I noticed that I don't see too much here in terms of juveniles. Did the school resource officers' daily blotter incidents or daily incidents end up in this media log as well, Chief, or would that be in a separate report?
Well, a lot of their incidents, things that they're doing within the school system, are not, and it's just how they're handling different things, and we don't have that into the log at this particular.
And wasn't asking for it to be there, Chief. I'm just wondering, is that a school privacy issue thing? Maybe something that Superintendent Pilati preferred, or what do you think there?
I'm not really sure. I haven't had that discussion with him. I can see that there certainly are circumstances where we would want privacy for the kids like that. Yeah. So we've kept that. Like I said, we've kept that out of our log system. And if someone needed some information, we'd be glad to give it to them. But we can't.
Oh sure, makes sense. I probably should not have even asked the question on the air, Chief. Here's one. Maple City Drive, erratic driver. Vehicle stopped. Operator found to be tired. Here's another one. Erratic driver found in Hornell. Resident would not cooperate with the officer. What do you do then when somebody won't cooperate, Chief?
Well, unfortunately, we get that at times, and all agencies do, unfortunately, that we have people that just won't cooperate, and it doesn't happen a whole lot. I think most people are pretty cooperative.
Sure.
But when we do get somebody that is completely uncooperative with the police, we would have to make a determination as to whether or not, through our computer system, whether they're legal or whether there's an issue with them. And if there's not, we'll let them go. I mean, there's nothing. People have an obligation to obviously show us their license, and but under the New York State law, they have to show us that in the registration and insurance. But outside of that, they don't really need there's nothing to prohibit.
One final question for you, Chief. When it comes to cell phone cameras, when you get a complaint about an erratic driver, do people ever take cell phone video, that kind of thing, and show it to you and say, hey, look at this guy?
It's happened in the past, not very often, but yeah, that has happened. But a lot of times people, once you look into it, people are driving erratically for different reasons. It's not always because they're intoxicated.
Yeah.
So
could be upset about something.
Right, or sometimes it's an elderly person that's having a difficult time, and
sure.
And again, we deal with that.
Chief, you guys deal with a lot of things on a regular basis. I don't know how you do it all. Amazing job. Want to thank you so much for joining us today and going over these daily media logs. Going to make an executive decision right now. We're going to start posting these on WLEA.net, Chief. They're very informative.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, Brian. Like I say, we'll keep those going, and hopefully they'll give the public an idea of what their police agency is doing for them.
And you guys do a lot. Chief Murray, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it.